Yes, I am. How may I help you? Ah, I see. Well, if it's a request from an adventurer, then I'll be happy to help you. I just so happen to have the device that you're looking for. Let me fetch it and show you, just to be sure.
Yes, this is it. Thank you so much. Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just got a little excited. Please go ahead.
To be honest, judging by what stands before me, I find it very hard to believe that you're an astute Ratawahith student.
Well...
Astrology is a hobby of mine, and these devices have cost me both time and mora to collect. I cherish them as if they were members of my own family. Which is why I don't let just anyone borrow them on a whim. These devices are delicate and can easily be damaged if used inappropriately.
Oh, that's completely
How about this? I don't need a deposit or anything, but I'd like you to share the contents of your research with me. I'll ask you some questions. If your explanation proves satisfactory, then I'll lend you the device.
Share the contents of my research? And, Alright, I'll try. But I can't disclose the actual details to you. How about a general overview of the research? Would that suffice?
Yes, that would be fine.
You're probably aware that astrologists rely on the movements of celestial bodies to calculate the past and the future, as well as attempt to summarize the correlating principles, correct?
Of course. This is the basic principle of astrology.
My current research is about a certain phenomenon called astral shift.
Interesting. That's not a topic any ordinary person would be familiar with. I have a basic understanding of the concept, but I'd like to hear you explain it.
Okay. Well, in short, it means that the results derived from astrology are prone to change. As time continues to flow, the stars change and everything else becomes affected by this change. However, what's actually driving the change is what's worth investigating.
I think that it might just be another law of nature.
If the changes follow a certain pattern or routine, then it could be explained as some law. But the changes are manifold, even when considering just a single star. The changes could be resulting from a simple single orbit shift, or it could be a more complex double orbit, or even a triple or quadruple orbit shift. These phenomena have a dramatic effect on astrological conclusions. What I'm working on now is the research and prediction of the triple orbit shift phenomenon.
Triple orbit? By yourself?
Yes. That's right.
You do know that adding an extra star to the equation increases the computational workload by more than tenfold, right?
It does get a little complicated, but it's still manageable with the use of a few self-invented techniques and a large number of star logs and star charts. Which leads us to why I'm in need of a high-precision celestial globe.
Amazing. I suppose I should never have judged a book by its cover. I thought you were just trying to half-heartedly deal with some school assignment.
Do I really look like that sort of person?
Don't worry. I'm just joking. I was a little cautious at first, but now I trust you completely. It would make me extremely happy if my collection could assist a researcher in achieving tangible results. Just make sure you return it to me once you're done.
Oh, thank you so much. I really needed this. Good thing Azam was willing to hear me out. Really? I was just explaining what it is I'm trying to do. Really? I don't know if you really mean it, but I'm happy to hear that. I guess even the hardest problems can be solved as long as I'm willing to try. Recording and comparing data will be much easier now that we have this device. I can do it all on my own, too. Let's continue with the plan. Can you help me with the rehearsal of my thesis defense? We can do that at the House of Dina.
Welcome to the Academia.
A blade embraces.
This seems like the best spot to do this. We'll need to be quiet so we don't disturb anyone. So here's what will happen during my thesis defense. After I present my thesis, the advisor sitting below will begin to ask questions. Theoretically, I should be able to answer any questions related to my thesis. However, I tend to get really nervous when my advisors look at me, and I end up completely forgetting what I plan to say. That's why I want to rehearse and practice presenting my points in front of someone. That's right. You should have gotten the gist of the content of my thesis when I was explaining it earlier, so ask away. It's okay if your questions are a little off. I'll still treat them as real. Wait a moment! Alright, Layla, you got this. You were able to explain everything earlier, so you can do it again. Alright, ask away. Sure. The direction of this research is based on the results of previous research. It's about the feasibility of applying my methodologies to the remaining triple orbit problems. Based on a sample size of 124 cases, we could only achieve approximately 60% accuracy. The results were not reliable enough to be implemented as a law. You can see the common traits of the erroneous samples on page 3. Excuse me, I mean from the star logs in the appendix. It's clear that in each of the erroneous samples, one of the stars underwent a significant shift. This means that, we not only need to limit the number of stars, but we may also need to consider the degree of shift when applying triple orbit shift algorithms. Stars with greater shifts are often key in astrology readings. The next step of the research should be... the next step should be to identify the feasible thresholds of shift for applying our calculations. And that's my answer to your question. Do you have any other questions? We're finally done. I'm gonna need more practice. I can feel myself getting flustered, and I start to stumble whenever I'm asked questions that I'm unfamiliar with. Oh, really? You mean it? Then this practice must be helping. During my first thesis defense, I stood like a statue on the stage and my palms were covered in sweat. I couldn't get a single word out. didn't even realize it, but you're right. It doesn't seem like there's anything holding me back now. I guess that means I'm capable of completing the thesis all on my own. I can hardly believe it. This is amazing. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just that I'm really excited. This is the first time this has happened, really. I'm so happy. I'm not sure how to put this. I'm really happy about everything that's happened, but I'm also feeling a little sad. I still don't know anything about the blessing from the stars. Will it never happen again since I don't need its help anymore? That somehow makes me feel a little lonely. Yeah, it almost makes the blessing feel like it was just a tool used for my studies, no? But I would really like to discover what the blessing actually is, if I ever get the chance. I want to express my gratitude for it, or better yet, maybe we could be friends. That's basically how I feel about it. Even if I know nothing about the blessing, I could still feel its companionship all along. It's almost like how you helped me. I really cherish and appreciate it. After all, it wouldn't be right to take such blessings for granted in our lives. That's good. I hope it's a little more satisfied with the way I am now.
I only wish life could be as leisurely as this a little more often. How greedy of me.